Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, November 1, 2022. A call is being made for a more global collaborative approach to tackling violence against children. United Nations Special Representative Dr. Najat Mala-Mjid believes this approach will be more effective to meet the targets of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Dr. Mjid says it also makes economic sense as violence against children is costing 5% of national GDP and 8% globally. She was speaking on JIS's current affairs program Get the Facts during an official visit to Jamaica recently. The UN Special Representative says many countries are lagging behind because of various humanitarian, climate and global financial crises, as well as the socioeconomic impact of COVID-19 and huge displacement of children worldwide due to conflicts. She also believes that policies are not effectively translated in services that are accessible to all children without discrimination.
What is needed is to build on these lessons and to switch from this siloed approach and this initiative approach that are not sustainable to really build cross-sectoral child and gender-sensitive services, when children can find directly and immediately access to protection, to justice, to health, to social protection, to all these services they need in a very prompt way.
Speaking to the Jamaican situation, Dr. Mjid praised the country's strong political commitment to tackling violence against children.
At political level, even at high level, but also strong commitment and involvement, regarding, the program I visit, those who are really heading the agencies to deliver services for children and family, for girls who are pregnant, for children with disabilities.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries will be implementing a comprehensive program to support the introduction of a more cost-effective method of improving fertilizers to increase crop yield. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the ministry has been reviewing guidelines for research, development, and use of new blends. In addition, he says the ministry will be working with stakeholders to train and sensitize farmers on the proper use and application of fertilizers.
Because one of the issues that I have come to understand is that you have many farmers, particularly small farmers, who are buying the wrong fertilizer, who are buying fertilizer and applying it in excessive amounts, who are not connecting the use of fertilizer excessively to damaging the soil and how that impacts the other cycles of production that you are hoping to have.
Minister Charles was speaking at the recent launch of Hypro's Diamond Dar per coat control release fertilizer, which makes it possible to match the supply of nutrients with the nutritional needs of plants throughout the growing season. Manufacturers are being urged to consider exporting high-value products to CARICOM member countries. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says this nearshore market offers opportunities which manufacturers should prioritize. He was speaking during a recent tour of CALS Manufacturing Limited's facilities in Kingston. In the meantime, he says government continues its efforts to establish vital infrastructure such as storage capacity, warehouses, and livestock pounding facilities in order to build a more resilient agriculture sector. The minister says Jamaica's import substitution program will receive more attention in an effort to boost demand for locally produced goods and create new opportunities for farmers. Government is looking to diversify its dissemination of information through the Jamaica Information Service, JIS. Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Robert Morgan, pointed to the need for a shift in operations to combat the prevalence of misinformation in the public sphere. Speaking at the JIS's strategic planning meeting at Jamaica House on Friday, he said greater use of different media platforms was critical to ensuring the timely delivery of accurate information on government policies and programs.
The government needs a seismic shift in how we transfer information to the public. It is not a choice. Whether we do it or not, what is happening in the society is going to happen. We have to make sure that recognizing how society has evolved, that we meet that evolution. So one of the things that I would love for JIS to engage in is an equipment audit and a staff audit. What is it that JIS needs to do over the next 3 to 5 years to make it into a world-class entity?
Mr. Morgan also lauded the JIS on its work, noting that the agency continues to thrive on its reputation of factual news output. And finally, the Minister with responsibility for information says government is committing to improving the operations of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, HAJ. Minister Robert Morgan was responding to journalists at last week's post-cabinet press briefing.
The government's interest at this point is to run a proper HAJ. Since we've been in government from 2016, we have reduced the debt from about $3.5 billion that the HAJ owed to NHT, and that is where the people's titles were used as security. We've reduced that debt to about $500 million.
He says the administration is moving to complete unfinished development projects of the HAJ and reduce the agency's debt burden. The Housing Agency of Jamaica is the government's core land and development agency, responsible for providing shelter solutions and regularizing informal settlements. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.